Hey, good morning. Today we're going to take a trip out to a place known as Inyo Mine. It's located in Death Valley, California, in an area up Echo Canyon. This mine was created and founded in 1905, had a little bit of production between 1905 and 1907, and then was quite dormant until maybe the early 20s. And then there was a new attempt to make some mining operations then. So we're going to go out. It's a beautiful day out, and take some videos, make a YouTube, and we're getting ready to head out. Got the usual morning coffee for the road trip. Let's go explore.
This is a pretty easy trail. It's mostly a sandy wash. It's real easy to get to right off the road that enters into the Furnace Creek area, Death Valley. It's well marked with the name Echo Canyon Road there. About 9.5 miles back to the Inyo Mine area. It's a beautiful drive back up into Echo Canyon. This is a photo looking back down into Death Valley with the Panamint Mountain Range in the distance, where Telescope Peak is, some 11,000 feet in elevation. On this trip, I had two capable assistants. One was my wife, and the other was my granddaughter visiting us from college in northern Nevada. I have made a maiden voyage with this new truck that I have, and so I didn't have all of my camera gear in place. I didn't have my dash mount for my video, so we were doing some improvising, and this is the result of the improvising.
All right, we're ready. And again, you know, it's going to be... What are you making a rolling for? Why is it rolling, guy?
Could you come up here, please?
No.
I want you to help him with this
I
video.
am helping.
Stop.
No, this is good. I'm not sitting up there.
Why?
Because I'm fine.
That's not going to be a good video.
Well, there's no...
You have to sit up here for it.
No,
It's going to be terrible. Stop.
There's no such
Stop the car.
too much.
Stop the car.
Yeah, guy, no,
Stop.
guy, you're failing bad.
Stop. Okay, please help him. He's your
I
papa.
am failing really
He will,
bad.
he will,
I gave you one job to do, Kylie.
you know that whole resource thing? You will be mentioned.
Yeah.
Do you want something to put underneath it?
Nope.
Okay. Don't mess it up.
That's to be expected because it wasn't here. It's gonna.
Is it videoing right now?
We'll just get a little bit of this bottom area, and then we can turn it off and continue further up. There's a thing out here we want to watch out for. It's called the Eye of the Needle, and apparently it's a rock formation with a hole all the way through it.
How come you don't have that mounted yet?
Because I told you I was waiting for that part.
Oh, is that what you looked in the mailbox for today?
Yep. It'll probably get there today.
I feel like there's not much I can do for that situation.
Okay, shut it off for a minute.
I'm so glad it's you, not me.
It's not working like we thought.
Okay, moving on as we travel up the canyon. These are some random pictures of the beautiful scenery that we saw on our way up to the Inyo mine site. There are not many historical photos of the area of Inyo Mine. There was also a town site associated with it called Schwab. Schwab was named after the steel magnate Charles Schwab, who had taken a keen interest in mining in the area, including those areas at Rhyolite and the Bullfrog District. Schwab was incorporated in January of 1907. There's only a few reports that came out of the Rhyolite Herald newspaper that mentioned Schwab during its very short life. The Postal Department issued an order establishing a post office at Schwab. It was officially established in March of 1907. However, there's really no indication that any permanent structures existed in the townsite of Schwab. When a person visits the townsite of Schwab today, you just really can't find much there. There's a few pits, a few boards, and some leveled tent areas. That's about it. I only make reference to Schwab because it was a townsite that was established to serve the mines in the immediate area, one of which was the Inyo Mine. I show this topo exhibit here of the townsite of Schwab in its relationship to the Inyo Mine. This is about the best photo I found of the Inyo Mine. It doesn't look like it was operating at the time, so I would suspect that this photo was taken in the 1930s. You can see on the right there is the mill, all covered in sheet metal. That next building to the left, as I understand, was the cookhouse. And then you can see another building there, looks like a walled tent building. And then the other structure on the left, not sure what that is. Prospectors began exploring Echo Canyon along with the rest of the Funeral Mountains immediately after the discovery of the Keen Wonder mine. If you want to know a little bit of history about Keen Wonder, please go review my YouTube on Keen Wonder. The first gold strikes in this immediate area was made in January of 1905 by two gentlemen named Chet Leavitt and Maroni Hicks. As with most of these stories of discovery, this particular discovery was written in the Rhyolite Herald in February of 1907. And the story reads, it was in January 1905 that Chet missed his burros and started down the canyon toward Death Valley in pursuit. A mile from his camp, the bunch of burros stood up on the ledge of a rock, sunning themselves. Chet's favorite red burro stood on a streak of quartz, which to Chet's delight panned like wildfire. The Echo Mining District was formed in October of 1905. And on January 2nd, 1907, it was merged with the Lee Mining District to the north. And then that became part of the Lee Echo Mining District.
Gold was first discovered in this immediate area about 1905. Two prospectors. They gained some momentum and some interest in here and were able to raise money and started operating in 1907 just in time for the big panic of the USA, and the economic downturn caused them to abandon their hopes for a while, or they only worked during the nice months when it was not so hot out here through 1912, and then the mine completely died off and abandoned. And then it kind of had a revival in the 20s. This is probably where a lot of these structures are coming from in the 1920s. They still are holding up pretty decent. And the site has been fun to walk around. It's a little more intact than I expected it to be. And that's what we can find here in Inyo Mine in Death Valley.
This is the first structure that you see when you pull up to the Inyo Mine. That's the mill, and in the background up on the hill there you can see that's the actual mine site. I have been unable to find any documentation on the total gold production here at the Inyo Mine site. However, there are several newspaper articles that were written by the Rhyolite Herald throughout the time, and most of those newspaper articles were talking about how the assay value was always so fantastic. In the early days of this mine site, there were several different reorganizations, and finally it became the Inyo Gold Mining Company. and work began in earnest in the Inyo Gold Mine on 1907. The company ordered a small gas hoist in early January of that same year, and by the end of that month reported that it had 3 shafts exploring for ore at depths of 173 feet and 30 feet respectively. The Rhyolite Herald reported that the assays were around $44 a ton, and the ore was free milling, which meant that it could be treated in the simplest manner. And once the Ash Meadows Water Company had completed its pipeline into the Lee District, the company was considering the construction of a mill. Water was now hauled from Furnace Creek, a distance of 8 miles at a considerable expense to the company. To date, no ore shipments had been made, but the company claimed to have about $650,000 worth of the ore on site. Like so many of the other Echo Lee District mines, the Inyo Mine had been fatally crippled by the Panic of 1907. Following the onset of the panic, development work virtually ceased throughout the rest of 1907, and 1908 followed suit. No work was done on the mine during the entire year, and the only notices in the papers concerning it were several rumors of sale. The mine had not been worked since the fall of 1907, and it was not mentioned again until January of 1912, when its stockholders met to have a discussion about devaluing the stock price. After the death of the mine in 1912, the next known reference to it comes in the fall of 1928, when it was sold to investors. Mention of the mine disappears again until 1937, when a group leased it to the Inyo Consolidated Mining Company. In March of 1938, the Inyo Independent newspaper reported that the company was still operating and had installed a ball mill at the mine site. The mill was capable of treating 25 tons of ore per day, and water for operations was still being hauled from Furnace Creek. All operations at that mine site had stopped by 1940. The only record showing that ore was ever shipped was dated in 1939, when a group shipped 36 tons of ore and realized a profit of about $10,000, which equates to about $200,000 in today's dollars. Well, this concludes the history, the beginning and the ending of the Inyo Mine. Let's go take a look around and see what we can find. This right here is the main part of the entire mining operation. It was the mill. All this was covered under a structure with sheet metal covering it. And when I first saw that motor right there, I was wondering why the exhaust stack was so high. But when I went back and looked at some of the old photos, it's because that was covered inside a building as well, and it exhausted outside the building.
This looks like where they would screen off a lot of the sludge and the ore. In this ladder right here, you can even see some of the old screen left over. So it was pretty fine. You can see there's the motor. Look at the size of those pistons. I don't know if it was, I suspect it would have been diesel fuel. You can see back over there, there's the hopper way back in the back, and you can see the road that probably took the ore from the hopper down here to this processing plant.
You can see the size of these pistons that were used to help drive the mill. You can also see the connecting rods and the crankshaft. This is what's left of the main part of the mill. The ore would be dumped in that hopper. It would pass through a jaw crusher, then shoot down to the settling plates. This wheel was part of the jaw crusher, which was mounted on top of the ore chute. This structure right here is known as the settling plates, right before it goes into the amalgamation tank. Here's an amalgamation pond. You can see there's the vertical shaft that goes down and drives those blades, keeps the slurry stirred up,
and the gold ore settles down to the bottom. And then the rest of the slurry just drains out. Yeah, so far this site hasn't disappointed me. You can see there's some pretty good debris behind me. The structures still look pretty much intact. This is a great location to go around and explore and look at some of these old structures. Most of this stuff was done, I think, in late 1910 through 17, and then it died away. Came back into active mining in the late 1920s. So a lot of this could be left over from that period of time. Another cabin of some sort, or who knows, maybe it's an office building. There's some more down in that debris field below. You can see the rail system that goes out to the hopper's edge. You can see the road that they probably pushed or pulled the ore up. And then this road right here leads up to the other mines, where you can see they had a hopper as well up there. And I think they had like a trail that came down from there that headed over to the other mill or the other hopper, and then went through a crusher and amalgamation. I'm not sure how much gold they process here, but I'll look it up. This is the inside of what may have been a bunkhouse. You can see their makeshift fireplace. Looks like they had a table of some sort. You see a couple of bed frames and bed springs. And of course all the windows, and then the wood frame roof with galvanized metal sheets for the roofing. This building actually looks like it's held up pretty good. Here's some more of the debris field of those wooden structures. As I understand, the one here with stairs going up to the foundation was the cookhouse or the mess hall. That building, I'm not sure what it is. That one right there. And then that one over there is a bunkhouse that you can see way out. I'm not even sure what this building is, but I thought it was pretty cool, so I went ahead and took a photo of it. This table is very interesting. I've seen many other videos that people have shot that also show this table. It looks like people continue to pick up old relics in and around the site and just put up on this table for display, which I think is pretty cool, that they don't take it home, as you're not supposed to be taking anything from the park or from any mine site for that matter. That building in the background may very well have been the mine commissary. There was a newspaper article in the Inyo Herald that talked about C.C. McKnight establishing a commissary where he would be handling groceries, mining supplies, and etc. That same newspaper article went on to report that his commissary includes some of that choice home can from Colorado, and he has a cellar full of beans and bacon and a chef that knows how to use it. Well, this concludes my presentation of the Inyo Mine. Here are a few random pictures on our way back out of the canyon. One of them in particular you can see is the Eye of the Needle. Thanks everyone for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and also the notification if you want to see more of these videos. Thanks.